I'm not throwing shade at you, but just like
you can shade
general,
me. You can shade. Oh,
I will when the moment comes. Welcome to the BoyFriends podcast, where we help you find your circle
and your man.
I'm Jarrod D. King. I'm here with Mike, and I'm here with Noel. We're going to be talking about how to balance being sexually free and wanting a relationship. I would just want to read the little thing that I sent out to all the hosts to kind of get the juices flowing, the mental juices flowing.
Okay.
A big part of being gay is our sexual liberation. There are so many sub-communities that cater to different things, and we push sex positivity. But how can that impact your search for a relationship?
Meaning, like, how can you still be sexually free, but then also look for love?
Yeah.
You can do both. You can still, like, be sexually active and still date, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I think this question comes from a place of the idea that you have to be, quote unquote, pure, or, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole, like, you can't be for the streets.
You can be thotting and bopping in the streets, but also looking for a man.
Right.
I feel like you could do both, but it's a hard thing to balance.
But it depends. Like, who are you telling these details to? Are you telling your people who you're dating, like, oh, by the way, I'm going to bed with all these people during the week,
and then we're dating? Like telling them, more so with yourself, the internal struggle with it, because you're like, okay.
But if that's your personality, that's your animal instinct to do, then I think it's, as long as you're having safe and fun sex while trying to look for love, that's okay. Because I feel that if you want to, like, be sexually active and, like, not make it seem like it's like a conquested thing, like, oh, I have to get something, I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking about it, like locker room talk, that's one thing I don't personally like.
Right.
Yeah.
When it becomes like a fun thing to talk about to your friends, like, oh, I totally I F'd this guy last night and I got F'd last night. That's, to me, that's such it rubs me the wrong way. Because some people have different relationships to sex, like I do, and some people don't.
Right.
They see it as just a fun thing to do because they can just do it.
Well, if you were dating and you found out that one guy was kind of just like
showboating,
not showboating, but promiscuous, I guess. Would that be a deterrent for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? I mean, because I feel like
because I'm looking for love.
They're looking for love too. That's like in this scenario, they're looking for love. They're looking at you as a potential partner, but you find out that they are.
In that case, I don't want to know.
Okay.
I mean, if let's just say we're dating, and you're like, we're gonna date, but you can do whatever you want to do, whatever. If you're coming to me saying, like, if like we're having a date the next day and we hook up that night after our date, and you tell me, oh, by the way, I just got done doing this person like an hour or two ago, that will make me feel kind of like really weird.
Yeah, well, okay. So I don't think that would typically come. Like, I don't feel like people are typically going to be like, oh, by the way, I'm just like, you know, oh, I was with this person last night, I was with this. I don't think people are going to say that necessarily.
Right, yeah. I feel like saying that.
Yeah.
I think it's more so balancing it. Is that what you're trying to get at?
No. So you could find out from different sources. You could find out from a friend, like, oh, he da-da-da-da, or he's like sleeping around.
Right on the street. Yeah.
Or you see them in the club and they're kissing on some other guy. And maybe you weren't even acquainted with them, but you just noticed them before you were even in contact, that they were just kind of out here and very, I guess, just very free with other people.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there's that label on them where you're like, oh, I already know what you're about. I'm not really looking for that.
Right.
You know,
it's like a warning label.
You feel it's a warning label. Okay. So you can't do both, is what you're saying. Because you started this podcast saying you can do both.
Yeah, you can do both. I just...
yeah. You could... But for you don't want to do both.
No, it all depends how you take it, like how you present yourself to people, how you like sleep around. That's all depending. Right. Like you can date someone and still go on other dates with other people and be sexually open.
Right.
As long as there's like understand like, hey, by the way, we're dating, but also I am seeing other people.
Right. To me, dating doesn't mean exclusivity. A relationship means exclusivity. Dating means like, I'm dating you, I'm getting to know you, but I also could get to know other people along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I always
And some people can do that. Some people can't do that.
Right.
I know I can't do that.
So we're not talking about openly dating. Not per se.
Right.
Because even if you say you're openly dating, it doesn't mean you're screwing all of the people that you're dating.
Right.
But if you know that this guy, like, for example, goes to some circuit party and is doing some stuff. But then it's like either you have to be one way or the other. And I feel like you can't be sexually free and date and look for love at the same time. Based on this conversation that I'm having with you right now, it seems as though there definitely is that stigma of, oh, this guy sleeps around and he's like, I don't see him in the light as being a long-term.
There's no
because I know what his MO is.
Then that's the wrong person you should be dating.
Right. I don't. What?
I mean,
yeah, I get, yeah.
If you know this person likes to go to circuit parties and hooks up with all these guys, whatever, and that's something that for you, then no, you wouldn't be dating that kind of person. But there's certain people that don't go to circuit parties who have healthy sex, whatever, with other people. That if you can tolerate that mentally, then
I mean,
yes.
is there a difference?
I'm struggling with that.
Like if there was some guy that I was into that I know for a fact that he goes to circuit parties and he has multiple partners throughout the week and then was trying to date me, I don't think mentally I can handle that.
Okay.
But if I met someone that's like, we're going to casually date together, I'm going to date probably other people. If it gets to a point where like sex starts to happen and we are sexually active, then I feel it needs to be said, by the way, I've been active with this person. At least just say something. Because it's happened to me before in the past where I dated someone and that person could not even wait 24 hours to see me for sexual whatever. I'm like, why couldn't you just wait one more day to see me?
Right.
Why did you have to leave to go have sex with some stranger you're just kind of seeing where we have been dating for a while?
Right.
That kind of hurts. Like, I'm not worth the wait.
Right.
So that point, I would be like, I can't do this anymore. Dating's one thing. When you start being intimate is a second thing.
Okay.
Because to me, sex is more.
It's more than a transaction.
It's more than a transaction. It's meaningful. It's like it means more to me than some people think it is.
I think. Well, I mean, I guess people are different in that way. I mean, I think I can see it in both ways.
Right.
I can be like, if I'm with somebody special, it can be a special thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It can also just be like, look. I ain't been with nobody in a month, and I'm ready to get it on. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of get with it both ways.
I agree with you in the both ways aspect.
The ways you want someone to date you is how you should date other people.
You're right, yeah.
But here's the thing, like, and I will say from my specific circumstance, it's hard to find a date for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I decide to completely cut off any kind of sexual advances or any kind of like whatever, I won't have sex. It will just be nothing.
Right.
So you're telling me that I'm like not boyfriend material. I'm not getting my needs met and I'm trying to find somebody. But then when I am getting my needs met, the people that I'm trying to find are then judging me for getting.
They won't know that unless you say something to them.
Okay.
I mean, if you're looking for someone to date but still want to be sexually free, obviously be sexually free. You don't get to tell every person, Mike, Tim, and Tom, that you're just got your D sucked the night before, whatever. That's your disclosure. That's your business.
Right.
What you do is sexually is your business. Whoever you want to tell, that's on you. Because you're gonna get feedback, however they take it. You know what I mean?
Do you guys ever see like a hookup and think that they're boyfriend material?
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely.
I've been
It's
on a
definitely
first date
happened.
like that. It was like, does he? I always fast forward to the future. Like, does this person look good 15 years from now, based on personality?
Right. It's more like, ooh, he likes me a lot.
But he likes me.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I would always fantasize with what him and I would look like together down the long run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's having a hookup with you. See, this I can't like. I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm really not trying to like battle, go back and forth. I'm not saying fight, but I'm like not trying to like
Fight me.
But you're hooking up with somebody, so obviously they're out here.
Right.
So you can see them as boyfriend material because you just told me you can't.
If I'm dating someone, I look at them first as dating material. Are you asking the person you're messing with?
If you have a like you message somebody on Grindr and they come over your place and y'all get it on, you could potentially see that person as boyfriend material.
No, I don't. I see the person I'm dating possibly as boyfriend material.
Okay, so the question was,
Did I get the
do you
question
ever
wrong?
see a hookup and think they're
hookup?
boyfriend material?
Oh no, because
Yeah.
I don't, because
Okay.
the ones I've done that.
I was like, wait.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm sorry.
I think we're all confused on what we're talking about.
No, I'm sorry. The question is, if you hook up with a person, do you see them as boyfriend material? No, because it's just what it is. It's a transaction of hooking up, and that's it.
So none of your hookups have ever been like gone from like just hookups to dating. It's always been like dating.
Any person that I've ever met off an app,
Yeah.
which is probably like I can count on my hand how many times I've done it,
Right.
has never been a boyfriend material type person in my my opinion.
What about you, Mike? What's been your experience in that, like balancing the two? Like,
I think I'm bad at it. I think I'm bad at it. 'Cause yeah, at times I'll be like, oh, I'm dating, but then I'll be like, I just want to get my nuts off and just like have fun. And I don't know. To me, I want to just have fun, and then something that could progress into dating. I think more so. That's what I would ideally want. And I feel like you can't like from a hookup. There is the potential because there is some sort of connection. It's like once you get out of just that hooking up area and like trying to push out that boundary, be like, hey, do you want to go out and maybe grab a drink? You have to like. We were talking earlier about this about what the fuck were we talking about? Well, like having a friends with benefits. That's what it was.
Okay.
And how in a sense it's like with friends with benefits, we're friends when we're just doing the business. It's like I'm not going to go out of my way to see you.
Right, right.
Because if we are actual friends, I'm not going to be doing that with you.
right.
I think it's almost like if you're just doing a random hookup, it's like, all right, if I try to go out on a date with you, I'm trying to progress into something new. Yeah. That's where I was trying to go.
do your, like, if you are just having fun,
Yeah.
do you tend to, after the act, do you tend to move into that territory where it's like, do you want to hang, if it's good?
If it's good,
Do you, like, because I know there are
It
some people who
depends.
aren't able to compartmentalize, and they
Yeah.
are very much like almost everybody that they hook up with, they're like,
yes.
yeah.
No, I could compartmentalize. Occasionally, I would hook up with this guy that was engaged, and they're in an open relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed him. Like we would, like when we would hang out, have good banter, and like enjoy ourselves. But I was able to be like, you know what? There's nothing could go further than that. It's just
Sex.
it's transactional. Yeah.
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 Just sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I don't. If I set my mind to it, or like put myself into that perspective, like, okay, this is what we have to do. Like, it's business.
You know you're walking yourself into.
Yeah, I know what I'm walking myself into.
Yeah.
I can't. At times, I'm delusional if I'm like, oh, I really like this person, but then I'm like, Mama, it's not gonna work.
I'm gonna break
No.
their.
Never
I'm
gonna
gonna
work
break
out.
their engagement.
Yeah. Oh no, I would never do it to him. Well, maybe.
You thought about it.
No, I wouldn't even know how to go about that.
Yeah, I think I've only tried to go further with a hookup like twice. And both times it's never really amounted to much anything. It's been like maybe I went on like one date with one guy and I was like, okay, I really don't like you.
Yeah.
So
like,
you know?
there was a reason we were doing this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the other guys, we're still friends with benefits for a reason. So
Right. I do get a sense of guilt at times. I'm like, well, I'm trying to talk to this person. like, let's say we were like dating for like a month or two, and then you're like, I want to hook up with this person though at the same time though. It's like, okay, how can I have it all? And I think to me that's where the struggle is. You wanna like be more with someone else, but also you're like, I want to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, think of how it's been for me. It's like I went through a long period of being very prudish, you know, like I was like not doing anything with anybody. I was like so preoccupied with being the perfect mate, and that really didn't amount to anything. And so, you know, I kind of got to a point where I was just like, all right, let me just like do whatever, since nobody's like really trying to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you go into that mode, and then it almost feels like, you know, if I meet somebody that I'm actually interested in a more romantic way, it would be a little bit difficult, I guess, to like be in a relationship, because I don't know, you would feel a little bit judged from the other person. So I don't know. That's just, I mean, I guess that's why.
I think when we start seeing someone, you think of them as pure, like they've never been touched by anybody. But that's not reality.
Yeah,
It's not reality.
I don't know if I go in thinking that when I meet people, like thinking that they're pure, like,
or you don't ever like know what their past is unless they say it.
Yeah, I try not to question that. I'm like,
No, I just assume everybody's a whore,
Yeah.
honestly.
yeah.
That's how, I mean, honestly, but that's me.
I'd rather think that way than being like,
I feel like I've gotten that too, just by people looking at me like, oh, he's definitely a hoe. I was like, well, I am behind closed doors.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the thing. Like, I feel like even if you're a hoe, if you're in your hoe phase and you're coming at me with a romantic energy, a different kind of energy, then I don't know, at least for me, I'm going to be like, okay, let's go down the romantic route and let's see where it takes us. I'm not going to necessarily be like, nah.
You wouldn't give someone a chance? Like, if I was the hoe, right? I'm like, yo, I'm totally feeling so bad.
Is he trying to be like the head roll and everything? That's hilarious.
I can't do this. Like, if you knew that I was someone that slept around a lot,
yeah,
and I met you, and I'm like, you know what, Jarrod, you make me want to come out of my hoe phase.
Aww.
Then what? What are you asking?
I'm asking
if you did that, then
I'm asking for like a chance for you
of love
to date me, despite of what you've heard about
Pick
me.
him, choose him, love him.
Where's that from?
Grey's Anatomy.
Thank you. If what have you heard about me? That this kind of person. I was like, boo.
I mean, I would give it a shot, personally.
Mm-hmm. Would you not erase, but like let go what you've heard and know about him, and then just like, let me just take a shot of this.
I feel like we exist in a culture that we know that a lot of guys are just, I guess, a little bit more promiscuous. Like, we're not in straight culture. Straight culture, there's definitely a different set of rules and set of boundaries.
Yep.
With gay men,
it's a free for all.
Yeah, I mean, you always know somebody who hooked up with the other guy.
Yeah,
like it's 2 degrees of separation, whatever.
Yeah, it's choose your own adventure.
Basically. Yeah. So at that point, I have to be like, I am not going to set a boundary on the person that's coming to me. I feel like if we're dating, if we get to a point of exclusivity, then that's where we draw the line.
Yeah.
Right.
But coming into it, I'm not gonna have any expectation of piety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do you think that it sometimes is a chicken game? If like you really like someone and you're like, who's gonna be the first one to be like, should we be exclusive?
Oh, I think that's
good
definitely.
Because sometimes I feel like that. I'm like, is this gonna be a game of chicken with you? Like, do you like me more, or like?
Would you be the one to be like, hey, by the way, I think I like you, and let's do this?
That's hard for me because I've never been in like a committed relationship. So to me, I'm like, I don't know if I could say that to someone right away because I'm so used to being my own and doing my own thing, and I really enjoy doing my own thing. I enjoy being single. Do I want to be with someone? Yes, but it's so nice being single.
How old are you?
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's plenty.
Yeah, I have plenty of time. But I just enjoy. That's the only thing I've known my whole life. I'm like,
That's
nice.
one thing I wish I did when I came out was not try to be a serial monogamous.
Yeah.
And just date more and feel more and like explore more.
Right.
I felt like I was just so hungry for the whole like, you know, gay white picket fence husband stuff, like what the straights do.
You like romance a lot.
I'm a romantic person.
Okay.
And I'm a fairy tale Disney person. Like I always want my true love, and
I'm the same. I'm the same way. How was the dating scene for you?
I feel like it's a lot of unfulfilled, like, let's hang out, let's grab a drink. It's a lot of like that. And at times it's definitely my fault not following through with that. But other times it's like, all right, why do I just hate always leading and dating, because I feel like in my whole life I am in charge. And ideally the person I want them to be more so of like
in charge.
Yeah, in charge.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Would you be the more submissive one in a relationship? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. That's just because I'm so used to doing my own thing. I'm not that much of a romantic, so I don't think me planning a date would be great.
You want the guy to lead, do everything.
Yeah, just for me.
Give but
I could get there though.
Give it a few years.
He'll be the dominant.
Yeah.
he'll just that's your natural.
That's the thing. I just
feel like
want
that's your natural state.
It is.
He'll just grow into the dominant role.
I just want someone to start it out that way, and then I would take the lead. That's
and that
how
was
it really
me.
is.
That was me. Yeah. I started out submissive
Yeah.
and catering to my other partners, and I was like, I think no, I need to.
I'm the boss.
I'm the boss.
Boss.
Actually, I became the boss when I became my own boss.
Oh, damn right. Yeah.
I felt that like switch in power of like I have control over so much of my life. Like I need to adapt it into my personal life, and it's different.
At the same time, you know, there's still room. There's still room to be submissive. I mean, at least for me, I'm like, you know, depending on the person.
Yeah.
Does going all in on hookup culture require a giving up on love?
Can you explain that?
No, I don't think so.
You mean like going all in on hookup culture?
Like that's all you do, right? Is that what you're saying?
Like basically just like, you know what? I have tried dating, nothing's happening, so let me just enjoy the moments, whatever comes, I'll enjoy, and if, you know, the right one comes along, then I'll move that way. Like does it require you just to like give up looking for love? To give up like be even like
I think people that are single, they reach a limit like, oh my god, this is so exhausting. I'm over it. I'm off the apps. I'm not looking anymore.
It's like a wave. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Dating is a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Like mitosis or whatever.
Like you'll go on dates and it like didn't work out. Yeah. Then you're like waiting. This is stupid. Delete apps. I'm off the apps now. I'm just doing me, and then you'll go back to it. Like I seen my friends.
I mean, I did just tell you guys that I got rid of my Grindr a few months ago, and I'm like, I'll probably be back at some point. But
yeah, I think it's okay to I think it's okay to definitely like emotionally and mentally separate yourself from that, because then you don't feel like it's a letdown every time. And if you give yourself a good reset every time, that's good too. Like come back when you think you're mentally ready to do it. For now, just work on yourself. Enjoy being with your friends and whatever. Enjoy doing that.
Dating, you have to go. You gotta take a break when you need to take a break, because it is the most draining thing out there at times. Dealing with people, it's the same 20 questions, it's the same kind of dates, and then you're like, well, that was horrible.
I went on a brief when in our previous episodes you were like, how do you go on these multiple dates a week? But when I did that, it was just that I was like, like one letdown after another, and then I was like, I stopped. It became too much. One is mentally exhausting and also financially very not good in your pocket to keep going on these dates with people.
Right.
And then after a while, just like when I wasn't looking, it's when it happened. And it's so cliche to say.
Everyone says that.
It's so cliche to say.
But how do you stop looking?
Right.
Like, what was your? This is not gonna make any sense. Like, what was your mentality? You were just like, I'm not looking. Like that's it. You're just like, I'm not on any apps. I'm just walking around life. And like,
I was honestly just doing my own thing.
Were you still thinking about dating though at the same time? You know
I wasn't.
What I mean?
I wasn't. I'm like, for now, I'm gonna let the universe give me whatever I think can handle.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go out my way to do the most.
Because when people say that, I get in my head, I'm like, well, I'm not looking, but then I'm thinking about it. So
I'm
wasn't looking.
I wasn't thinking about it.
A lot of people are full of shit.
That's the
of
part.
what?
When they say they're not looking, it's like Oh, I'm not looking for a relationship. Well, if Matthew McConaughey came around the corner and said, I want to take you out to dinner, you would absolutely be like, yes.
I'm ripping off my clothes and I'm
you
in
know,
a suit.
like.
I don't think I was honestly like, I mean, not saying that I was full of shit, but I was saying that I wasn't really looking for a long-term relationship, but I was open to whatever was coming my way.
Right.
I wasn't making a point to like check my phone every time to see like who would hit me up, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But if anybody were to ask you, like, see, here's the thing for me is like, if anybody came at you and say, hey, like, you know, like, what are you looking for? And, you know, maybe their intention is to look for a relationship. And you say, oh, I'm not really looking for a relationship.
Right.
Go walk around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go around the block.
But you are looking for a relationship. Like, you would be open to a relationship if it fell in your lap, whatever that means.
Right.
If they did, see, when you say you're not looking for a relationship, that only means there is a limited avenue or a limited amount of pathways.
I'm at capacity
to actually get to a relationship with me. That's what because I feel like, because it doesn't mean that there are no pathways to get into a relationship with me. It just means you have to say the right thing at the right time. I can't ask you directly, what are you looking for?
At this point, like my relationship, if I was single, like I'm dormant at this point. That goal of having a relationship is at dormant until I'm awoken by something like, oh, that's different. Okay. Maybe that I'll consider that. At that point, I was not looking.
Okay.
I'm always
always
hopeful.
Bugs me.
What,
it's just like the whole
I'm not looking.
And I'm not like, this is not like, you know, I'm not throwing shade at you, but just like
you can shade me.
You can shade. I will when the moment comes. But yeah, no, I mean, I just feel like when people say that they're not looking for a relationship,
I don't understand it. I'm like,
and then they'll be booed up on Instagram in the next week.
Right.
It's like, oh.
It's always, for me, it's always someone I hook up with, and then the next time I see them, they're in a relationship.
And
like,
I would say this, maybe because, and maybe the reason why they're saying to people like, I'm not looking for a relationship because you're not the person they're looking for.
Maybe they're not.
And that's usually
that's a hard truth.
And that's a hard truth. And that's the nicest possible way to say like, you're not for me. It's by someone saying, I'm not looking.
But can I still get my SD?
I don't know if that's the nicest possible way, but you know, it's a signal. It's a signal to be like, it's not you for sure.
Do your hand thing. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, no, I get that. But also, I mean, like, there are people who, you know, they'll put on their profile looking for like a short-term relationship or what is a short-term relationship? 2 weeks.
Yeah, what is a short? What like a
6 months?
2 months? To me, 6 months seems a long term.
Until my lease is up, or my contract's up, or until I move back to my city.
For friends with benefits.
Yeah,
that's what that says to me.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of seeing where it is. And like, I have no, like, I'm really not trying to judge anybody who is in whatever space they are in their life. But my thing is just be honest.
Right.
If you're not looking for a relationship, say so and be about that life.
And I think that's like the thing with Grindr. It's like when people are like, what are you looking for?
Would you rather?
It really depends on that person. And you're like,
would you rather the hard truth? Would you rather?
I would just be like, if I just wanted sex from them, I'd just be like sex. But if I was like, oh, you know what? I'm open to whatever.
with that face and that voice. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm open to whatever. You know, like.
That's like the hope that's like, oh, let's go for more.
You know, sometimes it's weird. Like, I'll just be like, you know, I'm looking to date, looking for a long-term relationship. Right. And saying that explicitly, it feels like it's a big deterrent to a lot of people. Yeah. Which is fine, because I know that not a lot of people are necessarily there. Right.
Mm-hmm. And your biggest critique about that is when they're saying that they are on their profile, then they say they're not.
That would be one instance, yeah.
After they say that to you, do they still talk to you after the fact?
After I say what? After what?
What are you looking for? And they say, oh, I'm not really looking for anything. Do you still try to like engage
for a hookup? Yeah.
For a hookup, and
I mean, if it's just hookup, then it's like it's downgraded for me. It's like, oh, I'm looking for a relationship. Oh, you're not looking for much? I'm looking for a hookup. You know? So, I mean, I guess, you know, like, even on my side, maybe I'm not, like I would settle for a hookup, I guess. I don't know if I would say I'm being dishonest in what I'm looking for, because, yeah, I would ideally like a relationship. I ideally would like to date and get to know somebody on a deeper level.
So then going back to what I said before at the beginning, then you could do both.
What do you mean?
I said,
because I feel like
I said at the beginning, you could look for love and just hooking up. You can do both.
Yeah, you can. You can. Yeah, you can do both. But the point was the judgment that you get for not being.
It all depends who's judging you, who allowing you to judge.
Right. Yeah.
Well, maybe
I wouldn't know anything.
Maybe it's like a self thing. You know, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's weird. Like I'm a person who is like in one mode or in the other. And if I'm in, like, it's hard for me to be.
You go back and forth.
Be in both things. You know, it's like you want to be the guy who is just, you know, accepting all of the attention and, you know, being a little bit more flirtatious or promiscuous or whatever. And then you also want to be the guy that is chosen by somebody or like is with one person.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like it's hard to juggle those two. It's hard to, like, you know, how do you manage people's perceptions of you when you're out here? You know, I saw you in Bike Stop last week doing so and so with so and so, and now you're looking for a relationship.
But that's your life. That's your personal business.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we got our answer.
No, I'm serious. Like that's what you enjoy do. If you want to be in Bike Stop and do whatever in the basement, that's your prerogative. If you're looking for love, you can do that too. You don't have to stop doing that because eventually what's going to happen? What, you're going to stop doing those things because you find a partner? Are you gonna stop going to the Bike Stop when you find a boyfriend?
If I really liked them, I would stop doing. And then if they were like, "Hey, you can't do X, Y, and Z if we're in a committed relationship," I'd be like, "Oh."
You would stop doing what you enjoy doing.
Well, if having.
Oh, look, I wouldn't be out here with every, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry, you know, and be in a relationship personally. I don't think if y'all want to do whatever, that's fine. But for me, if I'm with my partner, I'm with my partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying that you're looking for anything at the Bike Stop. I'm saying if like you and your partner want to go to Bike Stop together at a basement and just do leather night together, you wouldn't do that with a partner?
If they were cool with it, yeah. And if I wanted that, yeah. It's more so if I'm in a committed relationship, we need to have a discussion if we want to be open or anything like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you go into those places doesn't mean you have to be open.
Yeah, but I wouldn't feel like if I hooked up with someone and we were in a relationship.
Then don't.
Yeah, but if that happened, that's the thing. I would want to have that talk just to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, there has to be a talk about
I'm just saying you don't have to stop doing your fun things if you find a partner.
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
The way I took it was you still want to do things as you were single.
No.
Yeah.
Just even the environment you used to be when you were single, you should still be with them when you're partner.
I agree.
For sure.
I think a lot of people forget when they're in a relationship that they could have fun.
You stop. Yeah, you have to stop having a good time and going to these places, our spaces.
Yeah.
That we feel comfortable and being liberated with. You should do that also with your partner, not just when you're single.
I agree with that. Yeah.
The activities that you may have done when you're single may stop.
Yeah.
Because you have a partner.
Right.
But doesn't mean you stop like living your life and stop doing what you enjoy doing. So yes, you can do both things.
Yeah.
Eventually there comes a time when like you find a partner where like we have a conversation like what's acceptable, what's not in our relationship.
Yeah.
What's gonna hurt me, you doing and me vice versa. What's gonna bother you? Okay, then we won't do that. Maybe that place isn't for both of us.
I think the thing is like let's say we were at like a bar, just a regular bar where people were talking or dancing or whatever. Your energy when you go in, depending on what you're looking for, is going to be different. You're going to either be very flirtatious, you might kiss a guy, you might whatever. Or if you're like in relationship mode, you're not going to do all that. because you might be flirtatious a little bit here and there and like talk to people, but you're not going to do all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to maintain this image of.
I don't think it's an image. I think it's like it's a lot less intense when you walk in a relationship versus we're single. Even for me, when I walk in now, it's like I still kind of feel a bit like tense when I walk into like a U-bar. Like everyone, it's a small space. All these guys are there. I feel a little bit like under a magnifying glass, and there's so much going on, and like sometimes I feel like a bit insecure. Honest, I still feel it, but there's less pressure to look for the person, look for the guy, to see if you're making eye contact. It's a little bit less pressure off yourself when you're with someone, because at the end of the day, you're leaving with your partner anyway.
There's not no pressure. There's less pressure.
There's less pressure. There's still pressure in far as like being just me. That when I get looked at by an individual at a bar, I'm like, what are they looking at? My mind's always like, what are they looking at?
What I was driving at was like you said, there's less pressure to look for the guy when you're in a relationship, when you're with somebody. And you didn't say that there's no pressure, because I would think, based on the way that you had framed your relationship, that you and your partner walking into a bar, you wouldn't be looking at anybody, or you wouldn't not necessarily looking at anybody, but you wouldn't be looking for anybody.
Right, for anybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's basically
That's the less pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas
I'm saying less versus
I'm not sitting there trying to,
and
like,
you're saying less
like,
pressure
make
is no
sure
pressure.
I look good, whatever. I'm just like, whatever. I don't do that, that.
You don't feel as...
Not in that way.
Okay.
Like I'm not like judging. I'm not like wondering like how I may appear to someone at
You're
a
just
bar.
there to have a good time.
I'm there to have a good time
And not care about who else is
But
there.
at the same time, sometimes I feel like, if a person's looking at me from across the bar, I'm like, what are they looking at? And I get very just like I want to shrink into myself.
Right.
That's just me. That's my mentally me.
Okay. All right. Well, let's think about, like, for anybody that may be kind of in between two places, who's trying to find love, but also trying to enjoy their freedom.
Sexual freedom.
What advice would you give to them for achieving their goals or balancing the two?
Have sex. Be safe about it. If you're dating someone, be open about it. Let them know what you're doing, at least.
You have any advice, Mike?
I would just listen to your gut. Like, you know what you want deep down when you're with someone. And if you're really feeling someone when you're dating them, then go through with that and maybe try to slowly get out of that just hookup thing because you found something good out of someone. That's what I would say. Like, trust how you're feeling inside and follow those feelings rather than feeling like you have to follow like standards of society.
Yeah, no, I think I kind of would echo that a little bit. Like, pay attention to what you want in the moment. I don't think that you necessarily need to be of one mind all the time, you know? So if you're you may be relationship focused one day, the next day you might be, look, I need to do something real quick to get this off of my mind. Then, you know, just be clear about what you want in the moment. Right. Go for it. And once you get to the point where you find somebody that is special, that you want to continue seeing, at that point, then there comes the discussion of whether or not some of those other things are something that you want to continue doing. Me personally, I already know. Like, I'm out of the I'm out of the general public. You know, once I find my person, but until then, like, you know, I'm here. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you all for watching. Please comment, like, share, let us know your thoughts. I think this was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
We went everywhere.
We went everywhere with this one. So I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this. And until next time, if you have no one else,
you have us.